Hey everybody, it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. You know what time that is? That means it's time for Story Time. That's right, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Now, since we're on IGTV, Instagram TV, that's our main post. We only have 15 minutes, so why don't we just get right to our story? But let me ask you a question first. How many of you have imaginary friends? Raise your hand. How many of you, come on, be honest, how many of you have an imaginary friend? Okay, you can put your hands down. Well, you know what? I want to introduce you to my imaginary friend that I had when I was a kid. George! Yeah? This is George. George was my imaginary friend when I was little. You weren't that little. Okay, but still, he was my imaginary friend. Wait, I'm not imaginary. I'm real. No, you're pretty much... Well, anyway, George got me through some hard times. We used to spend a lot of time together talking and chit-chatting and all that kind of stuff, playing games when I didn't have any friends around to play games with. So George was my buddy. Yeah. So we're going to read a story about an imaginary friend. And what are you doing? Are people out there looking? Yeah, there's people out there. There's a lot of kids watching right now. Oh, if I'd known that, I would have done my hair a little bit better. Yeah, I think you should have. But that's okay. Look at that little girl right there. Her hair is all wild. Oh, yeah, you need a brush, young lady. Woo! Yeah, I know, it's like, woo! Anyway, you want to hear the story about the unimaginary friend? Yeah. Well, let's all sit down. What? You need to sit down. Oh. Good job. So our story today is all about the adventures of Beagle. There he is. That's Beagle. Beagle, the unimaginary friend. So sit down, let's be real quiet, and let's hear our story. Ooh, look at that magical looking place. There he is. He was born on an island far away, where imaginary friends were created. Here they lived and played, each eagerly awaiting to be imagined by a real child. Wow, look at these imaginary friends. Wow. How many of you have imaginary friends that look like that? Actually, some of them look a little bit better than mine. Wait, what? Sit down. All right. Every night, Beagle would stand under the stars, hoping for his turn to be picked up by a child and given a special name. Look at this. This little imaginary friend's being picked by a child. He waited for many, many nights. He waited and waited, but his turn never came. Aww. Can we all say, aww? I know. Look how sad he looks over there. He never got picked by a child. His mind filled with thoughts of all the amazing things that were keeping his friend from imagining him. Ooh, look, maybe they were playing sports or reading books or juggling and playing guitar, or maybe one's baking a cake. But they weren't imagining him. So finally, rather than waiting, what do you think he did? I can't wait to find out. Instead of waiting, Beagle did the unimaginable. What? He got in a boat and he sailed away from the land he was at, where all the imaginary creatures wait for kids to imagine them. This sounds like a scary journey. Have you ever traveled far away from your home by yourself? Well, that's what Beagle's doing. Ooh, look out for that dragon! Beagle sailed through unknown waters and faced many scary things. There he is in his little boat, and look at the size of these whales. Oh my goodness! But thinking about his friend gave him the courage to journey on. Until he reached the real world. There he is in that little tiny boat. And he's headed towards this big city. Look at these big boats. He's almost to the big city. Wow, what a journey. What a incredible, unimaginable journey. The real world was a strange place. No kids were eating cake. What? I love cake. No one stopped to hear the music. There's Beagle. And everyone needed a nap. Oh, look at this. They're all sleeping. And there's Beagle. How many of you like to take naps? If you don't like to take naps now, just wait. I love naps. Wow. Look how little he is. Then he finally saw something familiar. There's Beagle. What do you think was familiar to him? No, not the puppy dog. What about that? So he followed. That's one of the imaginary friends that a child chose. Beagle had a good feeling about this place. He went in here, woo! And then he came over this way. There's the imaginary friend he was following. And then he went this way. And he went up and around. And then he came down. But he looked everywhere. See all the kids with their imaginary friends? He was looking for a friend he could have. He looked everywhere. And he could not find his friend. Everybody say, "Aww." Okay, say it again really loud. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aww. He climbed to the top of a tree and looked out. There he is, waiting, wishing, and hoping his friend would come. Look at all these kids. Maybe one of them will be his friend. Do you think which one do you think will be his friend? Let's find out. Wait. There's Beagle. The last child is running away. No one came to be Beagle's friend. Oh. It's a sad story. I think I'm going to cry. He thought about how far he'd come and how long he'd waited and felt very sad. Then he heard a noise below. Hello! What? Who was that? Was she waving at him? Was she saying hello to Beagle? Beagle climbed down. She gave him a piece of paper. What do you think was on the piece of paper? This story's getting really good. Her face was friendly and familiar, and there was something about her that felt just right. Look at the picture she drew. A picture of the tree with Beagle and her. Wow, she's really good at drawing. How many of you are good at drawing? Wow. I sure miss meeting with you guys and seeing all your drawings after the story time. Pretty soon we'll be back together and we'll be doing our crafts. Won't that be fun? At first, they weren't sure what to do. Should we hold hands? I don't know. Neither of them had made a friend before. Should we hug? Or I don't know. Neither of them had a friend before. But after a little while, giggling, she said, Alice. He thought he wasn't sure what his name was. But after a while, they realized she gave him a name. Beagle. I'm Beagle. Hi, Beagle. And she gave him a big hug because after a while, they realized they were perfect for each other. What do you think? Do you think they're perfect for each other? I think so. Beagle and Alice had many new adventures. Eating cupcakes, they shared their snacks. They told funny jokes. Nobody else got them, but they did. Wow, look at that. They spent all that time together, and she would draw pictures and have great adventures together. I kind of like Beagle. He's kind of cute, huh? The world began to feel a little less strange. Oh, look, she drew a lot of pictures. Wow. Oh, and look, there's a boy with his imaginary friend. Beagle's over there saying, Beagle, Beagle, hey. So for Beagle, the world wasn't looking so strange anymore. And together, Beagle and Alice and all the other kids with their imaginary friends did the unimaginable. Looks like they took a journey with all their imaginary friends on the back of a whale. What? That's strange, huh? The end. Huh. So that's a story about a little girl, Alice, and her imaginary friend, Beagle. Now, remember I asked you about if you had an imaginary friend? It's okay to have an imaginary friend. You know, an imaginary friend that can ride in the car with you, sleep next to you when you're scared in bed in the dark, maybe eat next to you when you're eating your vegetables. Ugh. I don't like green beans, by the way. Well, guess what? The Bible tells us that we all have a friend, and he's not an imaginary friend. Is it me? No, George. It's not you. Listen closely. We all have a friend who's not imaginary, and he can live with us and be with us everywhere we go, all day long, no matter what's going on in our lives. He's there. His name is Jesus. The Bible says that he's our best friend. He's close to us than any other friend. He's closer to us than our own family members, our brothers, our sisters. He loves us more than anything. And you know what? He even died on the cross so that he would take the punishment for all the bad things we've done. That's what the Bible says. In fact, the Bible says that God so loved the whole world. That means everybody, you, me, and you, and no matter what color you are, no matter how tall or short, skinny or fat, no matter if you've got 3 eyes or if you've got 2 eyes or a big nose or maybe you're a little chubby like me, God loved the whole world so much that he gave his son Jesus to come down to earth and die on the cross for us and take the punishment for all the bad things we did. And since now he rose from the dead, he lives in our hearts. He's not an imaginary friend. He's a real friend. And oh, what a friend we have in Jesus. He can go everywhere with us, and he's always there. If you believe in Jesus, he'll never leave you. You can be safe because he's right there protecting you beside you. And when you're sad, he'll hold you. So I want all of you, after story time, to read John 3:16 and memorize it. Will you do that? Yeah. Okay, great. Well, that's story time for today. We're almost to the 15-minute mark. So I'm just going to keep blabbing and blabbing and blabbing until the video goes off, okay? You're good at that. What do you mean? You talk a lot. All right. Well, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week for story time. Can I come? Sure. Cool.